Hello everyone, this is Downer Baseball. Welcome back to another video. Today, honestly, I'm just going to talk about the Jason Adam trade. That's all I'm going to do today. So, yesterday, July 29th, this is going on July 30th, yesterday, July 29th, the Padres acquired right-hander Jason Adam from the Rays in exchange for 3 prospects. The deal is official. Both teams have already announced it. So, the Padres sent Dylan Lesko, Homer Bush Jr., and JD Gonzalez to Tampa Bay. Now, for those of you who follow MLB Pipeline, you will know Lesko was ranked number 3, Bush was ranked number 8, and Gonzalez was ranked number 12 in San Diego's system. Now, I'm going to be quite honest, only Bush was performing well this season. I've been following the Padres farm system on behalf of EastVillageTimes.com this season. Link in the description. You will see our daily farm reports and all of that. However, the deal is this. Jason Adam has 2 more years of team control beyond this season. And if you're looking on screen, his stuff is absolutely filthy. It is disgusting. He has 4+ pitches. He's got a fastball, a sweeper, slider, and a changeup. He can neutralize righties and he can neutralize lefties. I mean, he's been a guy that the Rays have really depended on these last couple of years. So this is definitely a very good addition, in my opinion, for a Padres bullpen that needed further bolstering. I mean, you have of the guys on the bullpen who have been struggling, you had Enyel De Los Santos, who threw 2 scoreless innings yesterday, but he has a 4 ERA, and he has had a career high in home runs allowed. You have Wandy Peralta, who's currently on the injury list, but he's not striking anybody out. He's not getting the ground balls he usually gets. I know he's a lefty, but it's still kind of, you know what I mean? And then who else do the Padres really have? I mean, Steven Kolick has been inconsistent as hell. Like, he was incredibly good from like June 1st to July 1st, and then the thing with Kolick is he just has really bad batted ball luck, as they call it. But then, like, this Padres bullpen over the whole course of the season, even though they've gotten great performances from Adrian Morejon, Robert Suarez, and Jeremiah Estrada, this bullpen overall is like 20th in the league. So give me a second here. Sorry. But this bullpen has really needed some kind of upgrade. And I think that the Padres have faith that Jason Adam could be that guy. I don't blame them. The results are there. Like, this season alone, he's made 47 appearances. He has a 2.49 ERA, 27.8% strikeout rate. And he's allowed ground balls at a 47.3 ground ball rate, which is really good. I think he is a great piece for this particular Padres team. I think that, without a doubt, you get yourself another solid reliever. As you know, now there is a saying that bullpens win championships. Well, they're saying it's pitching wins championships, but bullpens, the same thing applies there. And if you ask me, I like what the Padres are getting. Now, going over to the Rays, I'm going to start by prefacing that I'm not going to go into as much detail about what the Rays got as other videos do. There's a great YouTube channel called Intentional Buck, link in the description below. They did a breakdown. I don't know if they've done a breakdown on this yet, but I feel like this is something they would do a breakdown on. Anyways, and I'm sure you've all seen the breakdowns on Twitter. With that being said, going back to the Rays, we're going to start with Dylan Lesko. Dylan Lesko, another former first rounder of the Padres. He was drafted out of high school a couple of years ago. He did have Tommy John when he was coming out of high school, so that was already a concern for like Padres management and just everyone in the organization. But the even bigger concern as of late is just his command has not returned even after Tommy John. Like, this season, he has 79 strikeouts, but he has 52 walks. 2023, last season, he had 22 walks against 52 strikeouts in 12 games. This year, he started 16 games, 52 walks, 79 strikeouts. He's not allowing a ton of hits, but he's allowed 11 home runs. And this is pitching at high A, and the whip is at 1.5. Granted, he doesn't allow more than a hit per 9, but it's just the command isn't there. The changeup is still elite, without a doubt. But for Dylan Lesko, I think it's just the new slider hasn't worked as they thought it would. He's not getting the whiffs that they thought he would. And I know he's a young pitcher, so he's still clearly developing. Excuse me, I had to get some water there from my throat. But I know that there's some people out there who know this fact, but the UCL, the ligament that is used for pitching, usually doesn't finish developing until 25. He's already had Tommy John at like 18. So, I'm not going to call him a bust. I honestly wish Dylan all the best in Tampa Bay. I hope that he can find his way to the big leagues. Like, honestly, like, excuse me again. I hope that, he can have a good career. It's just, it's a little soon for me to tell. Again, I don't get paid for this, so. But yeah, Dylan Lesko, very highly touted pitching prospect. I know that there are some who say there is no such thing as a pitching prospect. I don't know whether I agree with that statement or not, but Lesko is definitely a highly touted arm. There are two more pieces going to Tampa Bay in this deal. First one I want to talk about is going to be outfielder Homer Bush Jr. If the name sounds familiar, he was another highly touted prospect in this Padres system. The thing with Bush is his speed. His speed has always been his greatest asset. This season he's stolen, how many bases has he stolen? 43 bases in 86 games. That's a stolen base every 2 games. Now, the OPS isn't great, but he does have a good eye at the plate. He's reaching base at a 362 clip this season in A-ball. Actually, wait, it's high A. My apologies, high A. He doesn't slug that high. His slugging was only 347 this season. He did slug pretty well in a brief stint at Double A. He slugged pretty well at... Actually, his slugging at high A last season was more in line with what he did this season. And to be quite honest, there are some who've said, oh yeah, he's more of a fourth outfielder type. Again, I can't tell. I mean, he has the ceiling to be a starting everyday outfielder, but he has the floor to be a fourth outfielder, defensive replacement, and pinch runner that you can call on in a close game. He's not a liability out there. He is definitely an above-average fielding center fielder, so I think that you've got a good piece with which to go here. I know a lot of Padre fans, after the trade was done, they were like, I saw him as more of a fourth outfielder. You could have said that, but you also could have said he was the next Padre center fielder before the whole Jackson Merrill Rookie of the Year conversation started. So, honestly, I don't know whether Bush will be that high upside everyday starter or whether he'll be more of a fourth outfielder. All I know is he has a great understanding of the strike zone. He gets on base at a pretty good clip. He steals a ton of bases. He doesn't get caught a lot, so he's got a high base running IQ, and I think that someone like him would definitely be a good, valuable asset to Tampa Bay in a couple years when guys like Jose Siri inevitably get traded, because we know that's how this team operates. But before I forget, our editor-in-chief over at the East Coast Times, James Clark, did an interview with Homer Bush Jr., link in the description below if you want to read that. Final piece in the deal was JD Gonzalez, who was ranked at number 12 in the Padres system. Now, he is a catcher. He's only 18 years old, so he was drafted out of 2023 out of the draft in this season. I mean, he's 18 years old playing at high A, so he's hitting 205 to 322 on base, 230 slugging, 551 OPS. And then when it comes to defensively, he has had... he has a fielding percentage of 979. So, I'm not an expert on, like, catcher metrics and everything. I know this guy was, like, really highly... one of these guys who's very projectable, but I can understand why San Diego included someone like him in the deal, because you have Ethan Salas, who is at least... I know a lot of people... I know Pipeline said 2025. I'm going to say he's more of a late 2026, honestly, because you don't want to rush him. So you have Salas, and you have Brandon Valenzuela, who was tearing the cover off the ball at Double A last month, so he's almost a Triple A. And then you have Lamar King Jr., who's still years away, but he's still yet another catcher in your top 30. So... that's not to mention other guys who could come in and make an impact. So if I am the San Diego Padres, I understand, like, as a fan of the Padres and as a fan of baseball, I can understand why you send off a guy in JD Gonzalez. He was kind of blocked at the major league level and even in the minors, so it makes sense why you include him in this deal. I'm going to be quite honest, I don't know a ton about JD Gonzalez. I didn't get to see him play in person, so I wouldn't be able to answer that. However, you probably think I'm going to grade this deal now. I'm not going to do that. It's,
way too early for that. Way too early.
It's a little early, as you saw in the video clip, to grade a trade like this. But here's what I think is going to happen, if I'm being completely honest. I think Jason Adam becomes your new 7th or 8th inning guy. If you have a string of right-handers up, you go to him or you go to Jeremiah Estrada. This lengthens the bridge to Robert Suarez at the back of the bullpen for the Padres. And honestly, after my initial reaction when I saw this was, holy bleep, we overpaid But the more that I think about it, because I've had a day to sit on this one and really think about it, it's not a bad deal. The relief pitching, the pitching market in general, you are going to overpay for everything. Unless they're having a bad season. But if it's a pitcher who's having a good year, you are going to overpay the absolute out of it. Because that's just what the market commands right now. And I think the Padres getting Jason Adam definitely fills a need. And he's here for 2 more seasons. So like guys like Enyel De Los Santos are free agents after this year. Wandy Peralta has a player option. You know, Robert Suarez has an opt-out after 2025. So, with that being said, I like this deal for San Diego. I think it's a good deal. I don't hate the deal. I'm definitely not going to overreact to it because, again, you're bolstering a position of need. And anytime that you're in playoff contention and you bolster a position that you need to bolster, I can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Because, quite frankly, you're doing what your team needs you to do. So, with that being said, I'm going to go get this edited. I do hope you all enjoyed this. I know this is an episode of the Standard Baseball Show, and it definitely looks like one of my other, it looks like a trade video, but I just really wanted it. I thought the visual aids would be a lot better than just having my face on screen for 10 minutes. So, with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You'll find more episodes of the Standard Baseball Show in the description, along with 2 of my other videos on screen. Thank you all very much for watching. This is Standard Baseball, signing off.